Number 4 of day 2, the final day of the opening weekend blank. We're going to cut straight down northeast to southwest here for Sanhok. Everyone going to be able to go wherever they want. It's a small map, and we're ready for the fight.
So let's get it in boot camp. Let's see how many teams actually do drop there. I'm very excited for this. We're already seeing teams start to funnel in over that side. T1 potentially going for this drop, but actually they're swinging straight on past. I think we might have boot camp open again. Oh, no chance team. They're taking it. I'm happy for that. I'm happy for it.
All right, we'll see if anyone's going to challenge them.
Oh, it's T1 and no chance.
Oh, hang on a minute. We might even have the double-double. We'll see who's going to be going where. Looks like no chance are a little bit further north of boot camp right now. Yeah, they're going to be dropping in those warehouses. T1 will be occupying the main lobster building, as we call it. Or if you're 7 WG, and you call it the crab because you're wrong.
Because you're wrong. Already, there is an immediate knock coming down to Servi. RRQ will be finishing that one off, so Synergy not going to be too happy, but this is what the analyst desk was talking about. All these unclaimed zones now going to be getting a little bit more hectic as many teams start to actually drop onto and try and take them as their own. I think I wanted to talk about the interview with Strider, actually. I mean,
I really did. Yeah.
That guy is humble. I mean, if you're rooting for Synergy, you can definitely be proud of him. That's for sure.
He's able to articulate it very well as well. I was really impressed. Fantastic stuff. We'll have to maybe get him on the desk one time. But no, well, I think that remains to be seen. RRQ, though, they managed to get one, but they're feeling a lot more pain. Hang on a minute. He's something special for breakfast. RRQ, wait.
You can definitely be proud of this lad. He's popping off. Okay, and I think he was using...
Got 3 kills.
He was using the shotgun as well as the pump action. Oh my lord, Strider.
It's that new PC he got.
That new PC that's supporting his mobile phone.
You see these LEDs?
The LEDs shining on his face. He knew he was destined for greatness at that moment. The thing is, though, is that I love the way he talked about the interview. It's like, you know, if we get the zone, we get the zone, and we're just going to do as best as we can. And he comes out and he's like, I'm going to double kill 2 people with a shotgun. Let's go. Fantastic. Replay.
Yeah, we're going to get a cheeky little replay on that and see just what went down. You see, that was the first kill that happened for RRQ just before it all dropped off. T1 relatively unchallenged here in boot camp. No chance team who dropped to the north of it just a little bit earlier on. They've already sent across to the northwestern island, which is an interesting choice there, blank of rotation.
Yeah, already gone. I mean, you'll be running into Orange Rock, who tend to... You've got a lot of teams that occupy that zone on the western side, eastern side of the northwestern island, right? So, yeah, interesting from no chance. I mean, if they're doing it so early, though, you can actually catch a team off guard. But they looted up, and they didn't find what they wanted, or they just left warehouse really early. T1, though, let's talk about quickly about them, because, you know, it's nice to see a Korean team really step up, and I was talking with Ryan's on Twitter about this one. You know, it is proper T1 fighting, and it's nice for people to be able to get behind a Korean team like T1. And I was saying yesterday that this is a team that's well known for picking up very, very strong teams and strong members and creating an effective group.
Giving them that framework to work around is really, really important for professional level play, which is exactly what this is. You know, it's called, they qualified through all the pro leagues. Well, they qualified through the street challenge, to be fair, but, you know, through all these pro leagues, we're now at the World League stage. So it's very much the time to get that professionalism on board.
Absolutely. So Synergy, they maintain Painan, and it's a decent area as well. I mean, Des was saying...
Synergy, I think we can say...
Strider
maintains.
Strider contained RRQ quite easily. They put them in a box and then sent them shipping off onto a Wrangel, which we will see next, and they'll meet them there.
Phoned up Cream Real Betis and sent them off on the ship. Morph is going to be taken a little bit of a fight here, going 1-for-1 on the trades, but unfortunately there's a refrag coming through from Clutch God, and they'll be able to get that pick up as well. The revive will come through as the flush happened for them.
You know, TSM Entity, they were going to fall for that one. They got 2 gods on the team. They know how to make this one happen. But they're very close to a few other teams. Morph might be able to run into this one, but no chance have been moving quite erratically, and now it looks like they might be making their way back across onto the southern island here. Morph looking to try and get some kills in. Box also moving down clockwise here on the north side of the map. But it's Udo as well as King of Gamers and GXR Celts who are all on that side. Rock's just getting a little bit of info towards Bantai currently.
This rotation from No Chance team is really weird, Blank. They started north of Bantai.
Yeah, I'm confused.
They swam over and now they're swimming over again, and they're going to come into contact pretty close quarters as well against a Micro Uzi. If they get spotted out in the wrong spot, they might just come across. Oh no! He vaults. And he gets shut down immediately. Not really going to be able to find the refrag just yet. But they do have people waiting in the wings. Godless looking to get rezzed here. Jixie holding down these angles, gets the micro Uzi reloaded, but it's not going to happen. The AKM lands the headshot, and it's an easy flush.
Yeah, I like that from Heineken. He was like, I could res my teammate, but I could also kill. Yeah, but kills though. And God is like, okay, please. Now that you've had your fun, come back. But yeah, that's a confusing rotation. I don't fully understand it. I don't think Morph did either. They were like, why is this team here? So it's worked out for the better. Zay's here just looking to try and get a little bit of high ground control, whereas you've got Mercy on this side also with an off angle. But just two players here. Best thing Morph can hope for is to regroup and then just try and slip by in the jungle. Put on your camo suits and see what you can do. Try and act like Degon, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. You got to get the tank tops out and try and get that camouflage on board. If you can't be seen, you can't be shot.
It's true. Well, actually, it's not true.
That is not true, you're right.
Yeah, if you can't be seen, you can still be shot. As we know from all these teams who love to fire downrange into a smoke towards the end of the game. Team IND, though, another team that made it very far to the end of Miramar. They're on the western side. They're just crossing the bridge. I think most teams are trying to take control of the coastal side of the river by Painan, just in case we do head towards the north. But I think most teams are convinced that it's not going to be the Northwest Island finish. GXR Celts, on the other hand, they're moving from docks all the way down to Bantai, hoping to try and claim a location towards Camp Charlie or Sami, which would be a really good landing point to just throw themselves off into the rest of the game. They'll be protected from the backside, and that's what's mainly important, Sandhawk. Limiting the amount of angles that you can be shot from, or limiting the amount of angles that you know there are not teams there.
And there's going to be less vehicles being thrown into the mix as well, so you know that it's going to be pretty tricky for you to get rocked up on from the back, from those sidelines, and have those off angles. So you're right, very smart coming through. King of Gamers going to be moving on near Quarry. They have Udo just over the hill. You can see the warp head.
The warp head is back,
as we called it from the PMWL Americas. So it's a moped of war, and it's quite the weapon of mass destruction.
Why would you give up the warp head?
Oh,
it's too strong. It goes by undetected like the Trojan horse.
He can't be trusted with that sort of power, you know.
I know. That's fair play. Only some people can.
You can't contain it.
I know.
It's like Boros.
Okay. TSM Entity, though, now they've found a pretty decent position. They've fired off against a few teams and laid claim to this little area where there is some nice rock formations and trees to hide around. IND, they're also looking to claim the western side towards Nakam, which is fair play. There's not a lot of teams down here, but it's a bit of a gamble for both GXR Celts as well as Team IND, and arguably also U-Level Up, because if we do get a northeastern shift here, they'll have to fight through so many teams. Unless you have that same just unwavering patience that Synergy had on Miramar, it's going to be difficult to make your way through.
Not a lot of real estate being occupied on the south side of the island, Blank, as well. So Synergy, you're right. Sorry, not Synergy. U-Level Up. They don't really have to worry about that much from the back. So depending on where the next circle falls, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is what I'm trying to say, is that, like, if it does head up to the northeast side, then all these teams on the south side, they're going to be feeling a little bit worried. But right now, they can just stay where they are. This is very fair. And a new, really kind circle to all the teams. I mean, Sandhawk, as the boys were saying on the desk, it's very hectic, but these teams tend to love it, which I like to see. Sandhawk is probably one of my favorite maps, if not favorite, to watch, especially in PUBG Mobile. Some of the teams are just insane when it comes to gun skill, so I love watching the firefights that go down.
Yeah, on the northern side, you've got No Chance team who made that weird rotation, and to be fair, probably the idea behind that rotation, I've been having sort of a little mull over what I think might be going on there, and I think that they just didn't want to push down the coastline outside of boot camp. They didn't want to be caught from the other side of the river, so they rotated around through that route because they know not too many people are gonna go around. So, you know, they do take a little risk, but it pays off. If it's unexpected, then fair enough. Maybe some people aren't gonna figure it out, but now that you've done it, you don't have it in the back pocket anymore.
That's No Chance taking some shots from
Morph there.
Morph there, and also T1 taking shots over towards Valdus, who've been making their way down from the northern side. T1 looking to hold down this gated compound for the time being, which is a really nice position to be in. I think T1 have got, at least from watching the Erangel as well as Vikendi, got a good idea of what constitutes as a very good compound to hold. One of my main issues at the moment is that they're a little bit overconfident in their skill, especially on Erangel in the first. They had the 2-2 split right. I think they could have come together a lot earlier. It could have paid off massively because they could see one another's compound quite from afar. But those rushes come in thick and fast from some of these teams.
Can be pretty tricky, but you know, T1 they have the backing of Avenger, obviously the boot camp team. He wanted to see it, and we are going to have that come through. We'll see what they're able to do with all that glorious loot they were able to get from the boot camp.
Back to Team I&D here. Nice hilly position for themselves, just to maintain a little bit of knowledge around the map. That's TSM Entity once again. Morph is stepping into their territory, and Jonathan will be having none of it.
He says no. Denied entry. You are going to be sent back to the Shadow Realm. Back to the shadows. You shall not pass.
Wow, are you mixing Yu-Gi-Oh as well as Lord of the Rings?
Sometimes you just got to have these hybrid references, you know?
That's true. Well, you can do that as a human. I believe in you.
If only I were human.
If only. You're actually just a robot designed to cast PUBG Mobile by the PUBG Mobile team.
Absolutely. I was developed especially just for this play.
Oh dear. And that's when I find out next week that I am also in fact a robot.
Oh, that would be an arc, wouldn't it?
That would be a
story arc and a half.
Yeah, I'd be like, whoa, what? I didn't grow up in Leeds. What?
Goodness me, the meta is strong coming through from the commentary team. But we're going to be getting back on board with No Chance team, who lost a little bit of pressure from earlier. They are still 4 players strong, and they crossed back over to the eastern island, the main block, and they are now just to the south of their compounds, moving ever closer to Pine Nut.
It's a difficult crossing, though. I mean, it's very, very open on the other side. Really, the saving grace is they don't have to worry about any other team at the moment other than Morph, and they only have No Mercy on board for the time being. But Orange Rock have finally made their way down from the northwestern island. They'd occupied the mountainside, which is a little bit of a risk, a little bit of a gamble, but I guess it didn't matter too much because they had a clean entryway back into the circle. But next circle, going on screen now, it's a fairly hard shift down to the south, and you know who's going to be very happy about that one? It's GXR Celts. They're going to be hugely happy with this, and they've cleared many, many angles. Now, if we split the circle sideways across the middle, really there's only 2 teams towards the southern side, and that's Yudu Gank as well as GXR Celts. But you can tell King of Gamers off the eastern side by Cave will be looking to take residence in Camp Charlie as soon as possible. But No Chance team, they're taking a lot of heavy fire from TSM.
Godless being a loot drop there for his teammates, unfortunately. I&D taking heavy punishment as well as they try to push onto U-Level Up's position. That's the second time that Kratos has gone down. First for the squad, he's their scout, he's their forwards push player, but he's going to feel the pain for it. And again, they're down to 3 for Team I&D, but we've seen what they can do in this situation.
It puts them into caution mode, which is not the worst thing in the world. Valdus, though, you can see them finishing off No Chance team, but Offdel's actually firing back onto Arm Joan there, and TSM Entity also chiming into that fight. TSM Entity have had a lot of hands in a lot of fights all over the map for the time being, but you'd imagine that they're attracting a lot of fire at the moment, attracting a lot of bees to the honeypot.
No Chance team were outthinking themselves a little bit there with all those rotations and ended up going down there. 14th place. TSM Entity taking some punishment as well. They try and push through. They are very, very close to Team I&D here, just out to the northwest.
This is what I'm talking about, is that TSM Entity taken so many fights, especially on Sandhawk. You start to hear those shots fire out through the trees, and you start to wander over that way and see if you can also claim that zone, because you know there's going to be more than just one team watching that position. You might end up unintentionally teaming up with someone else to take them down.
T1 still have control of, well, I say still, sorry, they've moved down south into the north side of Pine Narn. Synergy still on the south side of Pine Narn, so they have got that control, diametrically opposed on the settlement, but They both are going to be in for the next circle. We'll see where the next one shifts them towards. Team I&D taking a fight with TSM Entity, although it is just a little bit of peppering going back and forth, Blank.
Snacks opens the door there. Make sure that Neo can't just keep opening and closing that one and getting easy shots out. TSM Entity, this is what I'm saying, Orange Rock are starting to sniff their way out of where TSM Entity is playing. I&D have their eyes on. You level up are also in this position, and Morph No Mercy's creeping up behind them. Valdus also coming in from the northwest, so damn, TSM Entity are getting more and more boxed in as the minutes progress.
Not the easiest of spots, not the nicest situation to be in. But a lot of this south side's still unoccupied, Blank. The circle pretty bare down there. There's plenty of buildings, there's plenty of compounds that you could be choosing, but no one's really made that push down to the south. Instead, they're all clustered around Painan and its exits. So GXR Celts, they're going to be pretty happy with that. King of Gamers as well.
It's just hugely open ground, John, so difficult to get through. And now we do see the circle shift towards the center here. So a couple of compounds are available, 4 in fact. Yudu will be closest to the one on the northeast. You can imagine they want to take this one as soon as possible, but Nova Godlike, they might have something to say about this. But right now on our screen, it's the fight between I&D and TSM Entity.
And neither one wants to really pull the trigger on this fight. No one wants to push. No one's got a knock yet. They don't want to go down, lose this pressure early. These are two teams that have had bad luck with players going down early. We said that, you know, Team I&D, they're in caution mode after losing Kratos, and TSM Entity want to just keep plugging away and trying to get those points on the board, Blank.
This is the fight I was talking about in the sidelines that's happening. It's T1 versus Synergy, and I think that might be Synergy going out, but also Yudu versus Nova Godlike. Both those teams want that northeastern compound, and it'll be really important to see who can get it first. But Box is in a prime position as well on the eastern side to third party this fight and potentially take down both these teams at one fell swoop.
The T1 bootcamp squad will take down Synergy. They do get eliminated there. You do taking a fight with Nova as well from up the hill. They are going to have to drop some healing, but the damage is already done to Nova Godlike. Cronton on the off angle. They want to try and push this one through. Parang leading the charge, pulls the nade, starts the cook. They want to put that pressure up, and they realize that Cronton's on the sidelines as well. That's going to give them a little bit more info again. A lot of damage found. They're just tickling for now, but Cronton feels the burn. Drax does get traded off. That's Box with a side swipe coming in on the back lines.
This is what I was talking about. This is the big third party from Box. The fight that you do as Nova Godlike have kind of got themselves into is more glue than anything, sticking both these teams together, and not in the good way.
And that's going to force them to take the forward fight and put that pressure on towards Nova Godlike, and, well, they're going to crumble underneath it. That's going to be them eliminated. Yudu stands strong, but Parang is down. They're down to 2 standing.
This is unfortunate. I think Yudu just did not take this fight fast enough. And now Box are going to be able to come in here, and I don't think Yudu even have enough players to hold down this northeastern compound. TSM Entity taking shots backwards and forwards between Team I&D, but it's Slayer to come up against T1 and out in the open, and that's him taking them down.
Oh dear, the Grows are at close range. T1 eliminated. Slayer able to get it done. Snacks, oh, he just gets that first aid off in time. Looks like they're going to be looting, going to get a little bit more healing done. Morph get eliminated in the meantime, and all of a sudden that northwestern flank gets pretty cleared, Blank.
Orange Rock, as well as TSM Entity, they work together to take down Valdus, but wow, we're going to get a shift on the screen very shortly for you guys. We'll hit towards Yudu Gang's building. I believe they got 3 players remaining, but is this enough to kind of battle off the onslaught, which will be coming their way very shortly? King of Gamers, they've had a very, very chilled out game towards the southeastern side of the circle. We saw them come across from docks, but they're going to start to make their way into the circle, and really the only team they have to worry about is Box Gaming on the north side. TSM Entity, they continue to fight with other teams. It's you level up now. Jonathan goes down first. The other 2 players low.
Yeah, Clutch God is going to fall as well. Just Zed God left, and you level up, wipe them clean off the board. 7 teams remain now, Blank, but there's a squad that I'm looking at. It's Orange Rock. They're the aggressive team of today. They've been really stepping it up and making waves, pushing and pushing up that leaderboard. Looking to try and dethrone Bigatron Red Aliens for now. We'll see what they're able to do from the far side of this zone.
It is crazy. It's like watching the Orange Rock evolve from Full Split last year in the group stages where they were just miles above everyone else, and it's nice to see them start to come back onto form. But it's Marvy going down first, Ultra moving up from Celts, potentially trying to get something done here against Orange Rock.
Marvy's pretty much given up here. He's just getting info. Ultron on the deck will go for the spray downs. They're looking for the flushes. Scout leading out first. They have to move here, Blank. It's zone 5. The blue hurts at this stage.
Celts throwing out a Molotovs, preventing any push from coming through. Viru solo will have to get that first aid through. Does, but right now it's just about gatekeeping Celts, but the blue is so far away from all these teams. It's going to be difficult to get even any way in, but Viru finds one to begin with.
Oh, he's going to get knocked in response, so they trade it 1 for 1, but this is stopping both teams really from leaving for the zone. It's going to be really difficult for them both to try and move in. IND, they're taking heavy punishment. GXR Celts eliminated and out in the zone. It's Scout. He's going to go down as well. 3 teams now remain as everyone busts themselves to the blue. You do hold it down central.
And Box Gaming, they've been relatively quiet, but in a very, very smart way. They've taken out knocks here and there to kind of cripple the other teams around the map and bring them down. And Box Gaming even took out King of Gamers. You Level Up have a few players still left remaining, but look at the resources on board. Level 1 helmet, level 1 vest. You just don't think they have enough to make this one happen, but Yudu Gang have been extremely lucky with these circles. This northeastern compound was one they desperately wanted, and it's come in handy. But can Box Gamers with the 4 players, the advantage, take them out? Already, Break has taken a shot onto You Level Up.
I want to simplify this circle, Blank. They're trying to move the players from You Level Up away, and they'll do just that. They are eliminated, and now it's the one squad versus the other. 4 players for Box Gaming against 3 from Yudu Gang.
The issue here for Yudu Gang is although this compound is nice, there's no real ring around it, and it's 3 players holding 3 separate compounds. So if one of these players gets knocked early on, Box know that they can immediately try and push the 4 onto one of the other compounds, knowing that someone cannot get out. So Fredo here taking a really aggressive angle might not be the best thing. If Yudu can try and find a pick, he'll be big. But look at that. Circle moves away from Yudu. Now it's just a matter of time. Do Box want to wait this one out, or do they want to go aggressive and maybe a little bit more risky?
The next circle's going to push them out, you're right. It's going to be pretty tricky. We'll see if Box can control the exterior here, because now that this has come in, they don't need to push. They do not need to dismount them, because they know that Yudu are going to have to leave eventually.
Ideally, they get one knock here. Fredo is locked down massively. Be the first one to move, and you see the open ground behind him. He's going to have to drop down the smokes, make the mad dash across. Hopefully, Parang as well as Jumper can potentially support his run out.
They're biding their time now. You can see they're just medding up, getting those stims on board before they make their crossing. They know that Yudu are going to be looking their way. Okay, they're being consumed by the blue. This is a bold decision. And they're waiting for the run out from Yudu. They want to take the fight. Okay, Box Gaming. They've made their decision. They've made their bed. Will they be able to lie in it? Unfortunately, Lewis is going to go down early on. I have no idea what the strategy was in mind here for Box. They are really... giving us a run for our money when it comes to going for these decisions. What is going on? Break is out, still in the zone, has control of the hillside. The last remaining player now for Box as they really let themselves sleep there. You do send out some nades. Break will be dismounted there. Hang! And the nade comes through. Box themselves in. You do Gang, take the chicken dinner.